Today Baba is teaching us the method to be a multi-millionaire, and who becomes a multi-millionaire? Those who pay attention that their credit is more and debit is less. Yes, so you earn, you accumulate income when the outflow is less and the inflow is more. That is the law. And Baba says that how do you increase the inflow? So Baba says you have to pay attention to having good remembrance of Baba. Yes, and you see, we all know that I have to remember Baba. But do I remember Baba? Because you see, there was one Mata and she was a school teacher, and I used to ask her, do you have good Amrit Vela? And she would say that I get up at 3 in the morning because I have to reach school at 7. But along with my Amrit Vela, I keep doing many other things also, because there's work to be done and I have to leave for school. So sometimes we get up in time, sometimes we also do, sometimes we sit also in Baba's remembrance. But am I having that good link with Baba? Do I really forget the bodily relations and religion and become a point of light and remember Baba with love, with joy? Or do I keep remembering the worldly matters even when I sit in remembrance? Because many a times you see, we sit in remembrance, but because we are body conscious, the things of the world, the matters of the world, they keep playing on our mind, and we are not really having yoga with Baba. It's more of a struggle within, and you're just struggling to establish that link, and the time of Amrit Vela is over. And just imagine if Amrit Vela is happening in this way, then what would be the quality of all other times of the day? Of course, we are not remembering Baba then. And you see, Baba's remembrance is very powerful. But we seldom see that kind of powerful personality, that kind of, virtuous, powerful and discerning personality created in Brahmins. Why? Because the yoga is not accurate. And I will tell you one thing, for a very long time, when I was initially in Seva, I used to see that as soon as I sat in remembrance, I would just start, thinking about Seva. This Seva, that Seva, and then planning for Seva, and then how I have to make the pamphlets, how to get it distributed, how do I advertise the program, this, that. And then I discovered that is Maya, because you see, you're not doing what you have set out to do, and Maya has already intervened. And sometimes you're just churning the points of knowledge when you're sitting in yoga. And yes, it's not a bad idea to begin by churning the points of knowledge, because sometimes to take the flight of yoga, you need to run on the runway of knowledge. So that is fine. So for some time, you can churn the points of knowledge, but then make sure that those points of that churning is leading to you leaving that journey and going into, that yoga with Baba and having that link of love with Baba, or experiencing that drawing of powers and virtues from Baba. And so this is something that we have to pay attention to, whether I'm really sitting in yoga. And if I'm not doing it like that, then there's nothing to feel guilty about or worry about, but just pay a little attention and just guide yourself very lovingly into that state where you see, the definition of yoga is very, very clear. The definition of yoga is forget the bodily religions, bodily relations, forget the body, consider yourself to be a soul. Now, what is the soul? The soul is a point of light and peaceful. So, how do you come to that state of peace? When you forget the worldly matters that are playing on your mind, and you come to that place where I live in this body, I play a part through this body, but I am not the body, I am not the part, I am just a soul. And I come alone, I go alone, I am just this tiny point of light. I am not entangled in anything. And when you look at yourself like that, when you detach yourself from this worldly part, and then you come to this awareness that all my relationships are just with one Baba. And when you sit in that awareness and you feel Baba's presence very close to your heart, and how Baba is sustaining you with the pure peace, pure love, pure joy that Baba is giving. And this is something that we have to pay a lot of attention to, because this is the first method to improve your account of credit. And also, this is a very important method to also save you from having a lot of debit, because when you have good yoga with Baba, your intellect functions better, your buddhi functions better, and then you are able to discern Maya. And I have seen the seemingly very, very understanding BKs, who look and sound like they understand a lot of gyan, but they are deceived by Maya in 1 second. And I've seen very bholi matas, who the world says they don't have any discernment, but that bholi mata will discern Maya and get rid of it. And why does that happen? Because that bholi mata is having yoga with Baba, and the one who is just understanding Baba through the buddhi is having a lot of intellectual understanding, but they don't have yoga power, so they are not able to discern Maya. So this is also why you must have yoga, because that is the first method to earn credit in your spiritual income, and B, it also makes you discern Maya and saves you from debit. Then Baba today gives us 3 points of caution about what we need to take care in yoga. First thing is the interference of Maya in the which happens when you have a desire for trance. And this desire for trance becomes a very big door for Maya to enter. And there was this one Mata some days back, and she was telling me that Baba is always speaking into my ear and saying things. Yes, Baba is speaking into my ears personally and saying things to me. And I told her, no, that is not Baba, that is Maya speaking to you. And you see, there are so many kinds of, mental problems that happen, because if you have this desire that Baba should, I should experience something, I should go into trance, I should, Baba should speak to me personally. These kinds of desires, they become the door for Maya. And in bhakti, for a very, very long time, we have been in this state of desire where we want some extraordinary experiences, some trance visions, something, some if we when we come to Gyan, we listen, Bab Dada enters the body of Brahma Baba, Baba enters the body of Brahma Baba, and Bab Dada speak. Then some children start thinking that, this should also happen to me, and I should also talk directly to Baba. And these kind of desires, they come from that programming of bhakti. And then what happens when you sit in yoga, and when you sit with these desires, Baba should give me a vision, some extraordinary experience, something he should just, speak into my ears. These kinds of desires, they become the door for Maya. And you see, what has Baba told us about yoga? I want you to double underline this. Baba says, yoga is a very conscious activity. It's not something where you let yourself loose and there are experiences happening. And sometimes people say, I see this, मुझे ये दिखता है in yoga. But you only see what you want to see in yoga. If you are seeing something that you have not planned to see, that's not yoga. That's interference from Maya. Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. Let's say you're sitting in yoga and you're seeing some light, some flame, something. So that's an interference from Maya, because yoga is a very, very conscious activity. You consider yourself to be a soul and you remember Baba with the knowledge that Baba has given you. So Baba has given us very clear, concrete, accurate knowledge about who Baba is, what Baba looks like, what are his qualities, what does he think about me, how does he want to see me. So Baba has given us all this information about him because he wants us to remember him as he is, while considering myself to be as I am. And yoga is not something that you are that's where you let loose and allow things to happen to you. No, that's what we did in bhakti. Here we are not doing yoga where we are just allowing the universe to give us some signals or something or experiences while I sit in a let loose state. That's not yoga. So you have to have this clear understanding that when you sit in yoga, you forget your body consciously, you forget your bodily relations and relations with the sword of knowledge, because you know that this is temporary. Yes, it is all there. It's not like it's not there. It's there. Sometimes children go into these fancy ideas that I sit in this awareness that there is no body, no religions, no relations, because they are actually an illusion. No, they are not an illusion. They are there, they are very real, but they are just part of your temporary part. They are not part of you. So they are part of the temporary role that you have been assigned. So when you sit in soul consciousness, you forget the role, you forget the body. And it's very consciously that you forget it, with the knowledge that all of that you see with these two eyes is perishable. So you don't want to see that, because it's anyways going to be over tomorrow. So you pull your attention very consciously with the power of knowledge, and then you sit in the awareness that I am a soul, I am just a point of light, I am peaceful, and all my relations are with Baba, and Baba is very close to me, and I can feel Baba's knowledge, peace, love, purity, and I sit in the company of that powerful, source of energy called Baba. And when you sit in that company colors you. This is it. This is yoga. There is nothing fancy about yoga. There is nothing that, you will experience extraordinarily. And what happens in this yoga? In this yoga, your sins get burnt, because the more you color yourself with Baba's company, then the knowledgeful, the virtuous, the powerful in you starts to emerge, and consequently the less powerful, or the opposite of virtues, they all get merged, because you're sitting in this yoga with Baba. So this is yoga. And if you are sitting with any fancy ideas, I'm experiencing this, Baba is talking to me, he's telling me this, telling me that, all of that is Maya. Yes, and if Baba tells you something, if you feel, you get a touching sometimes, and that touching is what? That touching is exactly what comes in the Murli. If Baba is telling you something which is out of the Murli, that is not Baba saying. That is Maya speaking to you. So this is why Baba says, close the door of desire for, this trance and these experiences, and then sit in yoga. And, I have seen many children, many Baba's children who just, fall into this trap of Maya. And then they go into, Baba is speaking to me, and Baba is telling me this, and Baba. Why would Baba tell you something personally? Baba would tell you, Baba is speaking everything through the Murli. Why did he just come into Brahma Baba's body for fun? No, he came because that's his instrument. That's who he uses to speak knowledge. So that's his instrument every cycle. So he speaks everything through the Murli. He doesn't speak anything, anything out of the Murli. But sometimes, yes, you may not be remembering the Murli, but when you're sitting in yoga, something that Baba speaks in the Murli might touch you. You might feel that, yes, this is something that I am not paying attention to, and I must pay attention to. For example, if you are having if you are struggling with your relationships, then maybe when you're sitting in yoga, you will have a feeling that I need to tolerate more, and Baba is telling me to tolerate more. And why do you get that touching? Because when Baba spoke that to you in the Murli, then you didn't pay attention to it. But when you sit in silence, when you sit in yoga, then that same thing that Baba tells you in the Murli sometimes touches your intellect. And sometimes, Baba will tell you, and, Baba will make you pay attention that you are not being very polite in your behavior, or that you are not, maybe you are having false arrogance, or there is something, some avgun, something that is vicious that's lurking inside you. Maybe you will have an eye opening when you're sitting in yoga, that this is something that I have to deal with it and work on and get over with. So that thing can happen in yoga. But if you think that, Baba is giving you some personal directions, and, Baba is speaking to you, and, there is one Mata, she told me that Baba told me leave the house. Baba told me that you go and sit with this, be with your mother, because your husband is a bad person and he will kill you. And so I said, but Baba says in the Murli that no, it's, and I asked her, is the husband beating you up? Do you feel physically threatened at home? So she said, no, it's nothing like that per se, but Baba told me that, and maybe that's an advance warning. So I said, no, that's not any advance warning. And then she packed her bags, and then she went to her mother's place. And then she is telling the whole world that Baba told me to do this, so I'm doing this. So I said, no, Baba has not told you to do that. And the husband is searching her everywhere. So that's not how you become a BK. So Baba says that this is not how you allow Maya to intervene in yoga. And You have to understand that Baba is speaking to me through the Murli, and if something that Baba is speaking to me personally is not in alignment with the Murli, then it's Maya. But you will not be able to understand all of that, because when Maya strikes, then you can't even discern what is in the Murli and what is not in the Murli. So this is why the best method is, don't go into these desires. This desire for trance and visions and experiences, this is what spoils the power of yoga. So Baba says, just get yourself free from these desires and focus on your Purusharth. And when you focus on your Purusharth, then Baba will make all your desires be fulfilled. When you go to Satyug, all your desires will be fulfilled. So this is one thing. Then second thing Baba tells us today is, when you're sitting in yoga and your link breaks, yes, let's say you're not able to have good yoga, then don't trouble yourself, don't get upset, don't keep asking, why is this happening to me, why is Maya doing this to me? Because you see, the biggest tool of Maya is, it will distract you from what you are doing and pull your attention towards itself. So Maya will just, distract you from yoga and make you focus on her. So when you're not having that link with Baba, then make effort and re-establish that link. If it is broken 30 times, be very patient and re-establish it. If you are having yoga with Baba and then suddenly you see that you're thinking about lunch, you're thinking about the work that you have to do later, you're thinking about something that happened yesterday and your link is broken, then don't get upset. Don't give up on yourself. Just again, very nicely, in a very soft way, just go back to establishing that link and remembering Baba. And with a lot of love and patience, you do that. So this is also one way in which Maya interferes in yoga. And then Baba today also points out that when you remember Baba, then don't think that you will forget the knowledge. Sometimes, when you remember Baba, then people think that when you are remembering Baba, you don't remember knowledge. No, you will remember the knowledge also. But you are experiencing Baba and also remembering what Baba is telling you. So whatever Baba speaks in the Murli, it kind of gets, revised when you sit in silence and in remembrance of Baba. But along with that, you experience the peace, the love, the joy also from Baba. Because Baba says, I am knowledgeful and I am full in all virtues and I am a combination of all of that. So when you have yoga with me, it's not like when you experience virtues, you will not experience powers. When you experience powers, you will not experience knowledge. It's not like that. It will be all together, combined. So this is something that Baba wants about. And then Baba says that along with this, in order to earn an income, what do? You benefit others. Yes. And how do you benefit others? The more children you bring closer to Baba, because Baba is the only benefactor. And the more children you bring closer to Baba by giving them Baba's introduction, by introducing them to the course, giving them invitations for the course. So the more you do that, then you're benefiting souls, and that is also a method to accumulate income. And then you see, you also have to take care of the debit side. And what is the debit side? So Baba says, first thing is purity. If there is no purity, then you don't even know that without you doing anything consciously, you're draining yourself. Yes, so just by the way you're seeing, by the way you are conducting yourself, you're just losing your income. And especially, Baba says, when your eyes are criminal. then you see, whenever you see somebody in a body conscious way, you are seeing the body, you are seeing, and have you seen what there is so many things wrong with our eyes these days, that if you are not seeing in awareness, if you are not taking care of your vision, then in 1 second your eyes see many things. They'll just see the gender, the look, the color of the skin, what they are wearing, and all the, and it is not harmless, because there's a lot of judgment and a lot of other emotions of lust, and maybe, this is arrogance and many other emotions. They just come up with one vision of the eye. So Baba says you have to take very good care of your eyes, and you must always see in soul consciousness. So first, to pay attention that you are seated on your seat of soul consciousness, and when you see somebody, you don't see their body, you don't see what they are doing, you don't see what they are having, you just see the soul that they are and talk to them. And that is the method to be, free from this debit created through criminal vision. So this also Baba wants about. And then Baba talks about some things which cause great loss to the soul. And one of them is, Baba says that when you are in false arrogance, and you know what is false arrogance? False arrogance makes you behave in a very entitled way. Yes, so sometimes children, so I remember there was this one Mata, and she was in Gyan for 20 years. And then I asked her, do you read the Murli every day? So she said, yes. So I said, how many times? So she said 5 times. So she said 1 time. So I said, why not 5 times? You're retired now. So she said, I have read Murli for 20 years. Now I don't need to read it 5 times. I only read it once, and that's enough. And that also, I just keep cooking and listening, because now it's been a while and I understand the Murli. So just think about, you see, when you are 20 years in Gyan, you think that you can even, skip reading, paying attention to the Murli. And you see, even when you have time, you think that I understand the Murli so much that I don't need to pay attention to it. And you see, all this is false arrogance. And you see, what is false arrogance? You see, in Lokik families, what happens is, the parents will do something and then they will stop the child from doing that same exact thing. So the parents will use abusive language, but they will stop the child from doing that same thing. But do you know, the law says that if you do something, then another person who sees you will do the same as you. And this is why, and then parents, what they say is, because we are grown-ups, we can use this language, but this is a child, so they cannot use that language. But if after being a grown-up, you don't know the importance of having good language, then how can you teach a child the importance of good language? So this is the thing. So entitled behavior happens even when we are in Gyan. And sometimes you think that, because I have spent a lot of time in Gyan, or now I am in a certain position, or now I'm an old BK, then I can do this and the other person cannot do this. But Baba says that what you do, others will copy. So don't have false arrogance. If you don't pay attention to the Murli, then nobody around you will pay attention to the Murli. And Baba says, you see, there are enough bad examples. So please be a good example. that others can copy. If you do not churn on knowledge, others will also not churn on knowledge. And if you let's say you have a problem and you are a BK and you solve that problem with anger, but you are teaching others to solve that same problem with patience and peace, will you be able to teach them that? No. If you are not paying attention to doing Baba's seva, then can you be an instrument to teach others to do seva? No, it doesn't work like that. And I remember there was this one sister and she had a trouble with somebody, and then what she did is she tried to talk ill about that person and defame that person, and and through defamation she thought that she would solve that problem, because she thought that maybe I'm powerful, so I'll just defame this person so much that they will lose face and that spirit will be broken. But the thing is, if you are in a powerful position and if you set that example, then what are you teaching others? You are teaching others to follow this way to solve every problem. And what is Baba teaching? Baba is not teaching that. Baba is teaching us to solve every problem through spiritual power, through power of loving communication, through power of good wishes and good feelings. But if this is how we do it, then what will others copy from us? So it's very important to understand that nobody has nobody should behave so entitled and have false arrogance that whatever Baba speaks in the Murli doesn't doesn't apply to me because I am above the Murli and everybody else has to follow the Murli because they are new and they are the ones who have to do according to the Murli. So Baba says that this is something that we have to take care, because every time you do something against Srimad, then you are losing your spiritual power. And if you don't get it now, then you see Baba gives the example that many children who look like they would be claiming a very good position, very big position in Satyug, they just died on their journey as a Brahmin. And why? Because they kept doing these actions according to their own will and not paying attention to the boundaries that Baba has set for us. Baba has told us, never miss any spiritual discipline, come what may. It's not like because of your position you can miss Amrit Vela, because of your position you miss Murli, and it's okay. So you have to follow every discipline to the T. Baba has given us maryadas for thought, word, deeds, everything. And Baba says you have to stay within the boundaries of those maryadas. Come what may, you never cross that boundary. And if you do that, then you will incur a great loss for yourself. And also, you will set a very bad example. And when you do that, you become the instrument for the loss of many. So Baba says that don't be a bad example. Always follow Srimad the way Baba says. And I remember, there was one BK who was speaking very ill about me and also defaming me in many ways. And then somebody asked me, somebody said, what have you done that they are defaming you so much? So I said, you see, you are asking somebody who is keeping quiet, what have they done? But you're not asking somebody who is defaming, why are they doing it? So the thing is, if somebody is doing something wrong, then what can we do about it? We can only keep quiet and remember Baba, because we can't do the same thing. But the thing is, in the world, what happens is, the one who does the wrong thing justifies themselves. But the one who doesn't do the wrong thing, they have to bear the brunt and the question that why are you quiet? Because everybody would say that you are quiet because maybe you are on the wrong. But Baba says no, nobody has the right to cross a line in this Brahmin life, and nobody should do it, because if somebody crosses the line, how do you deal with it? Do you retaliate by also crossing the line? That's what the world does, but you don't do that. So Baba speaks in the Murli, Baba warns everybody, and Baba says that you must look into your own actions. You must check your own actions very deeply, because you can only do that for yourself. Other people telling you, maybe it doesn't ring a bell with you, but you have to look internally and see, what am I doing that's against Srimad? Okay, Om Shanti.